Here we go. Final segment of the night on Pivotal Change. We have more Elanna Reiss. We are getting ready to keep digging into Success Compass and how this transitional pivotal coaching goes. And she has really given us some really solid insight into what to do and what not to do and how we can transition our lives in a much more meticulous and coached, thought out way to get us exactly where we want to be. Whether that's a job change, that's a skill change, or that's going from worker to entrepreneur, we're getting a lot of insight here. So Elanna, let's carry this conversation on further. And I want to jump right back into, I kind of emphasized in the last segment, the mindset. You and I share that mindset is very important. So can you just give us a couple of tidbits, give us some areas where you're coaching people on mindset and how to think about themselves and their future and the transition that they're making?
Mindset is the backbone to having a good day or having a bad day all day long. And it doesn't even matter if the sky is falling. If you're ready to catch it, you've got positive mindset and it's all good. You know, you can catch the clouds, catch the rainbows, and suddenly it's a great day. So mindset is the backbone for everything. And it can be a long slog sometimes when somebody is doing a career transition. If they're looking for a new job, it can take a long time and can take an even longer time if they're actually doing a pivot, because there's a little bit more that goes into that. So with respect to that, we've got to keep strong. And how do you do that? You keep a positive mindset. And although it can be very difficult sometimes, having support, having coaching, and having some tools in your toolbox can help you stay focused, can help you stay positive and motivated, and to help move you to the next step.
I can appreciate that a lot. And one of the things that I kind of heard you say is that, this could be a little bit of a grind for a while. This could be a long-term process. And if I came on and said, hey, I want this coach that's going to help me transition, in my mindset, I may think 2 to 3 weeks, I'm good to go. But in reality, there's a second interview, a third interview, a board interview. It could be, especially if I'm trying to really change my life up and to the right, that may require more. So setting the correct expectations of what the process looks like and having the right boundaries for yourself of what you're going to not concede to, but go into and make sure you're pursuing your dreams, that's a huge portion of mindset, like you said. And then I really like kind of what you said about being ready to catch the sky. I've always told everybody, look, there's going to be a thunderstorm, but aren't you anticipating the rainbow at the end? And so, there's ways to control your mindset. So I love that so much. The 6 S's in Success Compass. You mentioned one of the 6. Can you rattle off the other 5 for us so we can get educated about that and be able to know
Sure.
exactly
We can dig into some of them as well. Success Compass, the first one actually is success. What does success mean to you? And what success means to you may look very different from what success means to somebody else. And it may even look really different from how success looked to you yesterday or last year or 5 years ago. So success is like the number one, but it's a huge thing, is understanding, what do you want? What are your goals? What does success look like for you? And then taking off of that, the next one is strategy. What are we going to strategize? Where are we going to go? What are your goals based on what success looks like to you? So if you just want to land a job, okay, that's your goals. Let's find a job. You can get a job working next door at the local retail store, or you can get a job in a different corporation. It's the same goal depending on what your target is. So strategy for how to achieve that success is the second S. The third S are the steps. What steps and action steps, like actual tactical components, are we going to use to make it through the process? So you've got big picture, what does success look like? What is the strategy that's going to get you that success? And then how do we actually break it step by step? The fourth S is support. Whether you go and you use a coach, whether you talk to a therapist, whether you have really great family and friends supporting you, everybody's journey really counts on other people. Nobody lives this life alone. As humans, that connection is critical. So having support in some capacity is tremendous. And of course, I offer support as part of what I do for coaching. We also keep people motivated. So how do you stay the course? That mindset that we were just talking about. And then the last one we mentioned before are strengths. Knowing your strengths and leaning into them is really useful to getting you to the next point. So those are my successes in Success Compass.
I love this so much. There's so much common ground that you and I share. Success, You emphasized, I put it in slightly different words, but success is a journey, not a destination. Congratulations. I just did one of those cool posters you see in the HR office with the guys rowing a team together, but that's true. And your success is different than my success. Some people may be fine with a very humble living as long as they have a tight knit family and get all the time in the world with their kids. And other people may not even care about getting into a relationship and having children and want to have a yacht. And that's two different versions of success, and they're different from each other. And then the strategy, well, I call that logistics. You said the word tactics. I'm a SWAT guy, cop guy. I got all excited because the tactics is the exact operations we're going to take to successfully accomplish this part of the mission or the whole mission. Love it. Support, so important. Having the resources, having the people, having that network. And I think that's an underemphasized area of not just life, but people that are really trying to accelerate and go places. You're trying to do this alone. You've got nobody to help shoulder the burden with you, whether that's a physical burden, financial burden, emotional or spiritual burden. You got to have somebody at some point you can lean on. And I think that's so underemphasized. And then stay the course. Oh my goodness, the importance of discipline, the importance of mindset instead of motivation. Discipline produces motivation. Passion produces motivation. But my motivation, now, I may not have slept great last night, so I'm not feeling highly motivated today, but I can be disciplined. I can have my resources. I can have my people and my action plan, and my motivation will return. And I love that so much. And just, the whole strengths. Are you really looking in the mirror, and are you pulling out your best self and presenting that and putting that into the right areas? So this is a really holistic package that you're approaching with people. And if I were a person and I was coming to you and saying, what am I missing? What are you going to do for me? What would some of those real life questions be where you'd say, well, Ryan, boom, here's my first set of interview questions?
Well, and to break it down a little bit bigger than
For
that, as you
sure.
just said, I mean, these pieces are applicable to anything in your life. I just
Excellent.
I just use it in the context of job search, but I talk with many of my clients where it's really not about the job search. That's kind of an outcome, and it has to do with what are your inputs to get you there. For you, and as you just beautifully explained, if you've got the routine, the habit, the discipline, it's going to get you there. And sometimes it is hard to get that motivation. And sometimes you need to really rely on other people to help propel you and take the steps and push you. And with my clients, what I've discovered is I've discovered with myself as well, sometimes you're motivated, right? And you're ready to like take the leap, go for the next thing, and I've got this. We're all good. And then there are other days where my clients don't want to talk to me because they're feeling this big. And those are the days where they have to talk with me because
Yes.
what? Let's hold hands. Let's take one small step together. And when you're done, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I did something. Check, done. Taking those
Yep.
small steps, understanding those small things can sometimes make the difference between feeling like you're accomplishing something or feeling like you're just stagnant. So having that support, relying on that, digging into that, it's going to get you so much further faster, whether it's in the job search or anything else in your life.
I love that. So, what I'm hearing you say is that you're using these 6 S's, of course, in the business mindset. Let's get you to start your own job, to switch positions, to switch companies, to switch careers in general. But could this not also say, hey, what does success look like for you inside of a relationship or a marriage or as a parent? What does success look for you as a member of your faith group? What does success look for you as the person who helps out with this charity or cause, and et cetera, et cetera? And then you apply all those strategies. So if you're coaching this person in the business mindset, you're really coaching them on tools for life. Is that correct?
100%, 100%. And that's why I tap into a coach as well, because there are areas where I need support, I need help, I need motivation, and I can't always get that for myself. It's sometimes harder to see things sort of from an outside perspective. So I tap into my own coach for that as well. Absolutely. And that applies all sorts of areas of your life, whether it's health, whether it's fitness, whether it's relationships, whether it's religion, whether it's job search. I focus primarily on job search, but it is 100% applicable to every area of your life.
Gotcha. So let's do this. Let's give me 3 takeaways to tell the audience. As a result of the last half of this episode, we got 3 takeaways that says I can walk away and I can take Alana's advice and I can go and look at this right now and I can do these 3 things, ask these 3 questions, or take these 3 steps to get me to start making that pivot that's eating away at me?
Okay. I'd say the first one is identify what your strengths are, what you've done well. And actually, just to expand on this a little bit, I think we forget that things that come easily to us are actually our strengths. A lot of times we don't give ourselves enough credit that what we're good at and what comes so naturally does not come naturally to other people. So when you identify your strengths, don't sell yourself short.
Mm,
If for you being able to have a conversation with somebody is a no-brainer, know that there are people out there where that's not a no-brainer. That is a strength. So number one, identify your strengths, and sometimes talking to other people to reflect back what they see your strengths are can be really useful and insightful as well. So identify your strengths, both self-reflection as well as reach out to some friends or people, colleagues who know you, and see what their thoughts are. So two steps in identifying your strengths. And I'd say that the next takeaway as the third one is identify your support system, especially when you want to reach a goal or make some kind of change.
I love that. Write that down and then answer those questions. So, Alana, tell me, if people wanted to get a hold of you, they wanted to make you their coach because what you said today had so much wisdom packed into it. How would they find you, get a hold of you, and use your services if they wanted to get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can send me an email at info@successcompass.com. Info@successcompass.com.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. I appreciate every moment that we had together. For everyone in the audience out there, I want you to go out there and I want you to see the change and be the change. And we'll catch you here next time on Pivotal Change.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.